In the wake of yet another mass shooting that left 9 people dead at a Texas mall, U.S. President Joe Biden has called on Congress to pass gun control bills. Gun violence continues to plague the world's biggest democracy as this trending social ill has become commonplace in the U.S., with at least 198 such cases reported since January this year. Meanwhile, a day after the incident, there were more bad news to follow for Texas residents, as at least 7 pedestrians were killed and several others injured when an SUV mowed down people in Brownsville. Good morning, I'm Sarah Chitrakar and these are the headlines of the hour. Priorities of the new budget presented at the Parliament. Budget discussions to begin today. Experts call for a business-friendly budget. Audio tape reveal commission money paid to Congress lawmakers Arzu Rana and Manju Khan. Lawmakers demand probe on UML chair Oli 2. Blame game intensifies. At least 21 people dead in Kerala boat capsize. The overcrowded boat with about 40 passengers said to have overturned. And Abdul Samad and Glenn Phillips pull off a run haste against Rajasthan Royals at the Indian Premier League. Samad hits a last ball 6 to clinch the match for Sunrisers. The budget session of the House of Representatives has begun from yesterday. On the first day of the budget session yesterday, lawmakers raised an alarm at the alleged involvement of high-profile leaders and government officials in the fake Bhutanese refugee scam. CPN-UML lawmakers have demanded that the culprits should be brought to book if they are found guilty of corruption at any level or sector. CPN-UML Chief Whip Padam Giri said that the government should investigate all the cases of corruption, including the latest case of fake Bhutanese refugee scam. Meanwhile, lawmakers of CPN Mao Center have urged CPN-UML to assist the police administration in the handover of UML Secretary Tob Bahadur Rai Majhi, who has been alleged in the Bhutanese refugee scam. Some of the ruling lawmakers indicating at CPN-UML chair KP Sharma Oli viewed that the former Prime Minister should also be investigated. Meanwhile, CPN-UML lawmakers also raised the issue of the citizenship bill, citing that efforts were on to endorse the bill. Meanwhile, the Finance Minister tabled the appropriation bill for the endorsement of the new budget, as the budget-related discussions will commence from today. The names of Nepali Congress lawmakers Arzu Rana and Manju Khan have also come to the surface in the fake Bhutanese refugee scandal. Arzu Rana and Manju Khan had become lawmakers on the proportionate category of Nepali Congress. The audio tape has revealed that 20 million commission money was paid to Rana while Khan had received 60 million rupees. Police said that the audio tape has been sent to the experts for verification. The then coordinator of the government task force, Balkrishna Panthi, has also been interrogated in the Bhutanese refugee scam. The main agenda of the House session that convened yesterday is to endorse the new budget on 15th of Jait as per the Nepali calendar. Experts have maintained that if the stakeholders can play a constructive role, the budget session can lead to the new budget, which will see a good coordination between financial and monetary policies. In the first 10 months of the ongoing fiscal year, the government's revenue collection has reached 723 billion rupees, while its expenses has crossed 1 trillion rupees. The revenue collection has been hit hard as it is limited to 51%, with the confidence of the private sector seriously hampered. The experts have therefore called upon the government to introduce liberal monetary policy. They opine that a stable monetary and financial policy can only improve the ailing national economy. The government target of roping in foreign investment has also been limited to 50%. The government has been reduced to collecting internal loan to feed salaries to the employees, while there are reports of pension funds being halted. The absence of adequate fund, works of infrastructure development have been hugely impacted. There are speculations that the government will have to reimburse about 400 billion rupees to the operational projects by the start of the new fiscal year. Meanwhile, with the subsequent government's inclination for a distributive budget in the past 10 years, the government is facing difficulty in managing expenses. Nearly 13% of the budget is spent on covering social welfare schemes for just over 3.7 million people, mainly elderly citizens. We'll take a short break here. We have more news coming up. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question. Why do you think the practice of providing Nepali citizenships to non-Nepali nationals not stopped? Your options are A, feeble action, B, a nexus of government employees, and C, due to open border. Voting is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. At least 21 people drowned after a boat capsized off the coastal town of Tanur in the Malappuram district of India's southern state of Kerala. The boat, which was carrying about 40 inbound passengers, overturned as it was overcrowded, said Malappuram district's junior superintendent of police. It was not immediately clear exactly how many people had died, the police officer said, adding that about 10 passengers were currently being treated in various hospitals and many had been sent back after first aid. The death toll was likely to rise as the boat was stuck in muddy waters and was being pulled out to rescue those trapped inside. The incident in the Malappuram district of the state took place at around 7 p.m. local time on Sunday, and a team from the National Disaster Response Force was at the site. Russia's Wagner mercenary group appeared on Sunday to ditch plans to withdraw from Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine, saying they had been promised more arms by Moscow and suggesting they may keep up their assault on what Russia sees as a stepping stone to other cities in the Donbas region. Meanwhile, Ukraine's general in charge of the defense of the besieged city said late on Sunday that Russia had intensified shelling, hoping to take Bakhmut by Tuesday, but he vowed to do everything to prevent it. May 9 is Victory Day in Russia, marking the anniversary of the defeat of Nazi Germany in World War II. Strikes on Russian-held targets have intensified in the past 2 weeks, especially in Crimea. Ukraine, without confirming any role in those attacks, says destroying enemy infrastructure is preparation for a planned ground assault. At least 7 pedestrians were killed and several others injured on Sunday when an SUV mowed down people near a homeless shelter that attends to migrants in Brownsville, Texas. The male driver was in custody, Lieutenant Martin Sandoval of the Brownsville Police Department said, adding he was charged with reckless driving and could face additional charges. Sandoval said the victims in the morning crash were waiting at a bus stop near Ozanam Center, a shelter for the homeless used by migrants. He said some migrants were among the dead. Judge Eddie Trevino Jr. of Cameron County said it was not clear if the driver had crashed into the group intentionally or lost control of the vehicle. There were no immediate details on how many people were injured or their condition. The city of Brownsville on the border with Mexico is one of the places expecting an influx of migrants when COVID-era restrictions under Title 42 expire on Thursday. U.S. President Joe Biden on Sunday called on Congress to pass gun control bills in the wake of yet another mass shooting that left 9 people dead, including the gunman at the Texas Mall on Saturday. The Democratic president renewed calls for Congress to ban assault weapons and high-capacity magazines, as well as to enact universal background checks and end immunity for gun manufacturers. There is little chance the narrowly divided House and Senate would pass such legislation, although polls show most Americans support background checks. Biden, who has made similar pleas before, said the silent at Allen Premium Outlets Mall in Allen, a northern suburb of Dallas, wore tactical gear and was armed with an AR-15 style assault weapon. The gunman killed 8 people, including children, and wounded at least 7 before a police officer killed him. Mass shootings have become commonplace in the United States, with at least 199 so far in 2023, the most at this point in the year since at least 2016, according to the Gun Violence Archive. The tragedy in Allen, which happened just over a week after another deadly shooting in the Texas town of Cleveland, reignited the heated debate over gun control in the United States. We have more news coming up, but right now it's time for another short break. Time now for sports update.
Sports news.
The 16th round of matches kick off at the Martyrs Memorial A Division League from today. Former champions Manang Marshangdi take on strugglers Nepal Police at the Anfa ground Sadabatu. Manang are in the 8th position while Police are fighting a relegation battle. Meanwhile, Kumaltar take on Friends Club at Chasal ground. Both the matches are scheduled for 3 p.m. kickoff at the respective grounds. Up next is the weather update. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.